came like, what was the reason why you wanted to do like a 3 month separation phase?
No, you start. You okay? What do you mean start?
No, like this is just a general question, isn't it? Like this is not even on the question, but
I don't really know even. It was partially I was like in the algorithm about like Batman, like old like jazz Batman stuff, and everything. It always came up like separation or whatever. I don't know. And then also I remember last time because we've been hanging out for a long time then, right? Like we was hanging out like when it was good weather, we were out every day basically, right? And then overall, I don't know. I mean, I think it was just like a little bit more pressure. Like I think I also talked with Claude about this, you know. But like I chase too much pleasure, and I think that only can act like really good from pressure, which is not the case, right? It's also like a bad trait, but that was partially the reason. But it's a long-winded answer, but I don't really have an answer to it. Like it's a little bit of everything, right?
yeah.
You know? I think we just need to grow on separate ways as well, like on a personal level and whatever. That was basically What was your case?
But I don't know, I think that it was, it was not something that I directly planned, right? Yeah. But it was something that I saw was something good, right? Because every time that we saw cigar, sunlight, and I think that in that moment for me especially was like, okay, what is it that I'm going to do? Like, what is it that I'm going to put my full attention towards? And when you're in that moment, it's like, okay, what is ChatGPT saying? What's Claude saying? What's you saying? Like, all of these different answers. But the truth of it is that the answer is within yourself. And unless you can find it by yourself, you're always going to be dependent on someone. So I think that the thing that I liked about the 3 month separation phase was that, okay, now is you, okay? And if you're gonna make it in this life, then you gotta make it now. And I think that the 3 month separation is like, okay, prove to yourself that what you can and what you know is true, and then show it to the fucking world.
Where we at today though? What are you saying today? Where you at? Where you at personally? Like where you at mentally? Like how you thinking about life differently or whatever? I mean, it's like the thing is also with growth. I think this is like a caveat. Like we want to see like okay, we separated and we change like crazy, but really you can't really see change, right? It's like a seed that grows in the ground. You can't really see it. And also I heard this story about bamboo trees, right? They are in the ground for like 5 years, and then in one season they grow like 21 inches. So it's also similar to like a lot of success journeys, right? Like you're in the dungeon for 5 years, and then one season you're growing like 21 inches. But yeah.
Yeah, I think how the way I look on growth is really changed, and the Bamba story that you just told is like, I always thought like, okay, it is in your mind. Overnight, you can become an overnight success, right? And it's like, when you think like that, what happened is that for me is that I started stagnating because I thought that okay, it's only in my mind, right? It's only in my mind. Let me just sit down and visualize it. Let me just sit down and try to figure out in my mind. But then what happens is that you don't do the work because you think like, okay, it comes from the mind. It really comes from the mind. But the second part is taking action on it. Because like, okay, if we look at the figure manifestation, it's like, okay, it comes from the mind, and when you're no longer emotionally, whatever. And it's like, okay, you know that, but then it's like, okay, do the work. Do the work. Because then if you look at my content, I was posting the same shit every week, hoping for a different answer. And then it's like, okay, if I keep on posting the same content, shit ain't going to change, even though I'm thinking in a different way. And it's like, when that realization moment came, you start looking at what you have done, and then you start improving it in every aspect. And then that is really when results come and growth come. Because when when you're emotionally not connected to the outcome, but emotionally connected to how to improve it. And that's when I started seeing like, okay, even though that it is one step and not 10 steps, it's at least one step. And that's kind of the way that I look at growth now, and especially like the game of dice, right? Where you throw the dice, and when you get lost or when you get a red side or whatever you want to call it, okay, what is it that happened? And then you learn from that and you keep on rolling the dice.
Yeah.
That's it's been a little shift in that sense. What do you see?
No, I think you touched upon a great point. I like this. I've been recently thinking about this way too much, but this is like one of the key things I take away from Andrew Tate, like on his whole upcome, like all of the years I watched him, right? The only reason he's so great is because you watch him as a kickboxer. Every time, like even to the newest fight, he was watching back his games. He's talking always. I watch back my podcast, right? That's why he's so good at speaking, right? And then when he was a chess player, he used to have to rewind every single game. He used to play 1 hour and then 1 hour he used to rewatch it all. Like, and this goes for, and also I think this is like this one guy, Dominic Cravone. I want to give a shout out to him. He's a great guy, big entrepreneur, like $1 billion portfolio, e-commerce, D2C, and also like B2B, like in retail. Either way, like when you're documenting like they do, he documents every single week. He has a guy following him. That is consistent feedback loops, right? It's consistent growth. And same if you look at Andrew Tate, right? There's consistent feedback loops, which is the only way to get forward. I think like this is a thing I don't put time to like analyze really. Like, for real, to be honest, like I should probably put 1 hour a day, every single day, to really just analyze my own life and just take this feedback loop. Because when you look at any sort of business, right? You look at why didn't your client stay? You look at why didn't this customer enjoy their product? You look at why didn't this customer say? Whatever it may be, you need to do feedback loops. Same way you do your ads, your marketing, every single thing, and that's the way you learn. And I think like you're so deep in the weeds of the business that you just forget to do your feedback loops in life. But eventually, like at one point, like that's the only thing that matters. But he was talking about if you're just inputting stuff, think of it as inputs are bricks, right? And you need to build your house. And if you're not taking inputs and putting them and like taking the inputs and then shaping them to what shape you need for your house to build that character of yourself or to build a person in the foundation you need to go to your next level, then you're just gonna stack bricks in a hay and then just sit there and just take more bricks and you're not gonna go anywhere. And that's like what I would also say like is the biggest realization I've had, but it's also like a biggest caveat. It's like a different thing. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like every time I watch Andrew Tate, for example, that's the main key thing that just keeps coming up in my mind. It's just you need to do feedback loops. You need to analyze your life deeply, right? Because if you look now, he's in jail. All right, what has he done before he was in jail? What he got was 4 months of analyzing. When he came out, he was better than he was before, right? Why? Then we look at this time, he will most likely be better than he was before because he's already been through the experience a couple of times, but he's also done the feedback. But that does not mean it gets easier, but it just shows like this is also a big thing. You can never connect the dots looking forward. It's only looking backwards, right? You can ask yourself, why didn't I get successful earlier? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do this? Why did I lose all my money there? Why did I not do it? Like, you can only connect the dots when you look back. And that's like, when you look back 5 years from now, like, you won't be disappointed in whatever you did because it got you to where you are, right? So it's just constant feedback loops, you know, biggest realization I've had. And that, I think that's the only thing that attributes to growth really, really and truly. Even if you look at manifestation, right? What is it? Well, you go back to your memories, which is the most emotional, and then you change how you view them. It's literally just doing feedback loops. Even manifestation, all of this stuff, like I get what you're saying, like you don't do the inputs, and it's really true. The main thing is just like, it's not really manifestation, it's just like you need to understand your mind. Like if you look at Andrew Tate, he teaches the exact same thing as neural knowledge, right? The only thing is that neural knowledge is super deep in the whatever, but if you look at all the successful people, they align with Andrew Tate because they've actually done the action, right? Neural knowledge, it's like a person that can study a subject for 10 years, yeah, that's great. But if you can't implement it, it's nothing, right? And when you go through life, through war and like through actual stuff in your life, where you actually have to put everything to test every single day and you need to show up, that's a different type of mentality. So you come at it from a different point of view, but it's all the same thing, right? It's just universal laws in the universe, right? Never give up, you know, do X, Y, and Z, and just that's the biggest thing I've seen on growth.
No, I like the brick concept, I really do, because I think that even for me, probably already you as well, but also the other people, is like, you know, they watch a video, okay, now I'm going to implement what I've said. They take the information and you know, they just take their words. But you need to take the words, and when you take them through yourself, that's how you shape them. So if you watch a video on XYZ topic and you just take that and then you try to, you know, you just go like this instead of going through yourself, you ain't going to shape them. And you know, I think it was Nick Setting, but it's like, you know, all the answers are already within yourself. And like, you can watch plenty of more videos, but you already watched like 20 videos on this topic. And like the answer or the solution ain't going to change unless you change first. And when you start seeing in that way, when you start seeing through the answer and onto the solution.
It's just pure action, bro. Like you can watch 1,000 videos. Like I've been in this as well. You know, you watch way too many videos. Like the best people that move the fast are just the people that move the fastest, right? If you watch a video, if you don't implement it within like at least 24 hours, which is in my opinion too late, you should implement it within 10 minutes, right? Like that's the only way you'll close the feedback loop. And you look at any person, like that like any successful person, speed is king, right? Like you won't get anywhere with speed. AI is here. Like hard work doesn't really attribute to success anymore. AI can work 5 times as hard as you and as good as you if you know how to direct it. So that's one thing that's gonna shift moving forward. Like hard work won't really mean anything if you look at it, right? You have AI, you have cloud code, you have every single thing that can just do work for you. Now, obviously, there's still manual labor, but in 1 year, hard work won't guarantee you success anymore, right? So, like, people that are just trying to get into it now, if you're not implementing fast, like, with speed, like, I'm talking speed, right? Like, if you can't say, like, every day you should think of like, oh shit, this is the last day, you know, I gotta do this. And every time I watch Andrew Tate as well, I kind of like take his energy in some form of way, right? That's like the weird thing. But like, when I watched the recent podcast with him talking about jail, I feel the energy from him. It's not like hate, it's not anger, but it's a combination of everything. But it's also like a freedom of speech, whatever. He's fighting for everyone, right? But I take that energy, and then for the rest of my day, I'm fucking aggressive with it, you know? Like, it's like I put myself in his shoes. If you were to put yourself in his shoes, how fucking grateful wouldn't you be able to be that you are sitting at home and be able to work? Like when I was working at my cafe, the only thing I really wanted to do was to be able to work for myself and not be in the cafe. I was listening to 50 Cent. He was talking about if they own you, they own your worth if they own you, right? Like he was talking about like, you know, if whatever, something like they own you. Like you can't do anything if you're being, you know, handed in one side. Hard work back in the days, it took you 5 years. 5 years really. Like if you look at any person that's like businesses now, like we look at online and we think, oh, you can make money like this. But in real life, Most businesses take 5 years to go to 10 million, 20 million a year. All right. Now you can see online people making money like this and this and this, but the only part is like you only see the glamorous part, right? Like you don't see anything of the past. And this is also a thing. Like when you understand that like success is eternal and failures are temporary, right? And if you understand that, then it's like, why are you like? There's no part in like what being like fearful of success or like being envious of success or being envious of failure, right? Because if you're like frustrated with failure X, Y, and Z, it just shows that you are not like. It just builds you to who you need to be. Like you're not gonna. I think even to this day, like if you were to put me in a $100 million brand position as an operator, I wouldn't be able to handle it, right? Because you need to go through the initial steps to get there, and it's the like you can't just skip the sea and just go to the land. You can't do that.
The person that you want to be is not the person that you're gonna become. The person you're gonna become is the person that you need to be. You coming back from Sweden now after being in Vietnam? How's
back to Sweden? Back from Sweden. Okay, yeah. Go on.
Where have you been throughout these 3 months? First of all.
I've been in Vietnam. I was on an island in like, not in Vietnam. It was like Asia type of shit. I don't know exactly where it was. It was like a speedboat, right? I was 1 week there, but I had Bali belly. So it was a very nice island. I booked like a nice villa, etc., like pool, all of this. But like I had Bali belly. So for the whole week, I was basically inside. I had to go to the toilet 5 minutes. But overall, I was in Vietnam basically, and I was there for a good month. It was a nice experience, and yeah, I mean like. Bro, for us entrepreneurs, traveling outside the country, it's literally just like, it's just a new environment. It's the same shit. Like, it's like, I think like, I was wanting to do like more life experiential stuff, but like, I also knew like, I didn't go there for that initial purpose, right? Like, if you want to go and do life experiences, I know now, like, just the other day, I came back, right? And I was with the guys that I've known for like, since I was in, kindergarten. And we went out for a fucking sail ride for 12 hours. Went up like that was like one of the best days I've had in a while, to be honest, right? Like I didn't go to my phone. I wasn't looking at my phone. I wasn't on the screen. I was just outside with the guys and the father, right? And now when I look at it, that's what you want to do when you want to do experience, right? But the main thing you point out that I took up on was like, you compare yourself a little bit, I think, in the sense of like, I didn't really think I'd got that many experiences, and that comes down also for me, right? The only reason I found out I wanted to go into entrepreneurship. Like, I always knew, like, at the end, because I didn't live with my dad, right? So I always knew I had to do something, right? For my whole family. But when you're experiencing what you don't like, you know what you do like. So that trip, I wouldn't say it's, like, unworthy, because now you know what you don't like, and now you know what you do like, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You have to go through these type of things. It's the same thing as lessons, right? You need to look back and just like, okay, what can I take from the trip for me in 1 month that can build me as a character? What can I take? Was it this humility? Like, was it that I was very humble in that sense? I gave to everyone, whatever. What can it be? Right? And then you take them, build your character, but you need to take the specific things that actually shape you who you are, and don't just take like random stuff, right? But like just understanding what you do like and what you don't like. Like now after being out on that sail trip, like now I know what I do want to do, right? Like when I like on a vacation, right? Like I don't really like, yes, you can see like there was nice places there, you know, nice resort, pools, beach, everything, and it's like, but like I can't sit still for 1 hour and just not think about work if I'm on the island. If I have Wi-Fi and I have my phone, like I can't do that, right?
Yeah, I think that's, you know, if something makes you calm where you live now, like for example Sweden, if something makes me calm here, or you know it's enjoyable here, if you go abroad, like things won't change, like just because it's, you know, a new country with new bitches and etc. Like, or like a nice resort or whatever. It's like, okay, it's nice for, you know, the first day maybe, but then it's like, right, now it's you know, now it's back to work, right? Because in Sweden it's nice views, it's all of these things, right? But it's like when you get into the gym, for me the gym is like the biggest shit, right? Like when I'm in the gym, I can like fully, how do you say it, like just be calm and just like push hard, right? During my whole day, the gym is like the best shit in a sense, right? But I'm only in the gym for 40 minutes to 1 hour max. And it's like when I went to Spain, no, not Spain, I went to Italy, when I've been to France twice. When I was in France, when I was in the gym, it was the best part of the day. When I was in Italy, the gym was the best part of the day. When I'm in Sweden, the gym is the best part of the day. So regardless of what country I go to, it's like, okay, the gym is probably still going to be the best time of the day. And then you have some experiences, like some hours maybe, where it's like, okay, this is super cool or whatever. But then it's like, if you go to a country just because you want to, you know, experience the gym different, or you want to experience something new, like the rest of the, especially for entrepreneurs, it's like, if the rest of the day is going to be fucked in that sense. And that's what I've learned from, you know, going on vacations, not vacations, but going to other countries for a short period of time. And you can't build a routine when you're only there for like 1 week and 1.5. And you know, I'm not going to, like, I wouldn't say I'm an addiction, but whenever I go on the SAS app, I just see these countries, and then you get the hinge to go there because okay, I have the money to go and buy and go and fly there, but then it's like, is it worth it? Just because you want to have some, some sort of dopamine hit, or like,
I think it is worth it. Like, if you look at it, for me, I think the biggest thing, the three biggest things that I took away was like, when you're not like, okay, for me personally, like, also this is a very key thing, how people look at you, right? So if your best friend were to describe in 3 words, or your mum were to describe in 3 words, how reality looks at you, if you can reflect back, that's when you have charisma, that's when you have aura, that's when you have confidence, right? Because if you're a fat guy and you go in a bar and you're short and fat, like, you won't talk to any bitches. Or if you start talking about money and whatever, people just look at you like you're bullshitting, right? But if you're fit, if you look good, etc., people perceive you as that, and if you reflect that as well, then it's like, there's no friction, right? There's no friction. It's like if you were to go in the sea now as a bowl, they're smooth, right? You're smoothing into reality, and that just makes everything flow for you, right? So, looking at Vietnam, key things are just like, you're not with your parents, number one. You can wake up whenever you want and you can do whatever you want. So that gives you freedom, but that also gives you responsibility, right? Like, always have responsibility. That's not an issue for me. But it also gives you time. That's the biggest thing. Time and like space to think. Number one. Number two, probably freedom as well. Like, I think you feel alive, you know? Like, you don't really feel alive when you're sitting behind your desk, right? When you're outside of your comfort zone, that's where you feel most alive. You know, you grow, whatever it may be. Yeah, also, nobody in Vietnam thought I was younger than 25. Some bitch thought I was 30, bro. And that, if you know, I reflect that to them, that's just because that's also who I reflect to them. Or like, they perceive me as that, but I also reflect it, because otherwise they wouldn't perceive me as that. If I were fat and I was fucking short and I didn't do shit, they see that from my aura, from what I give out, the energy I give. So if you can kind of reshape how you experience yourself, and like, if you look at yourself and you be like, okay, well, how will people look at me? And if you don't like it, then that's where you need to go and change yourself, right? If they don't like it, you need to go and change yourself. You know, if you don't like what people perceive you as.
how important is it to, how important do you think it is to have real brothers?
I think it's important. Yes, for sure. I mean, we're still young. Like, I'm not gonna sit and talk about like I was fucking 30. I'm young, but I've always perceived myself as older, right? Like, I haven't ever looked at myself since I was 16, probably younger than like 20. Like, in a sense of like where I'm at, like mentally, right? Like, my mom asked her like VP, like, of a company. He was like, yeah, your son's always on. My mom does not fucking think I'm on shit. You know, my mom thinks, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, some shady shit, you know? But it's like, ask me the question again, hold on.
What do you think? How do you think it's important to have real brothers?
Yeah.
I can make a follow-up question with that. How important do you think it is to have real brothers in a world where you're now moving into, you know, having business partners and meeting new people online? You know, having this difference between, you know, new friends you're making and then, you know, people that you know truly.
Yeah, so for example, we could take like my 2 closest like friends that are not like doing anything really, like, they're doing stuff, right? But yeah, like, it's the most important thing, because like, as you move along, as you gain more money, everything becomes transactional. It's like, it's the end of the game. It's how the world works, right? You have a girlfriend because you get sex and she gets fucking money and attention. It's a simple process. Everything works that way. And when you have true genuine relationship, like, you can't really take that, you can't get that back as easily, right? Like, I can't get back Bror and Isa, for example, right? Like, they don't chase money online, they don't do that, but they're doing stuff now, right? Like, one of the guys going into the military, one of the guys going to Canada, which I'm really happy about, because for the longest time, ever since I started to, you know, because I've always been on this shit. Maybe I didn't say it, but like, every time we're partying and all of this, like, when you were home, when the guys were home, they were probably watching TikTok, YouTube. I was working on myself, right? Like, even when nobody knew it. And it's like, even though they don't do that, it's one of the most important things, because as you move along, these are the people you're going to actually spend time with, right? Like, you might stay in a villa with some people and, you know, make money, but like, it's hard to get that genuine connection where it's nothing transactional and it's just genuine, like, brotherhood, right? And you look at Andrew Tate, you look at anyone, like, it's what brings people together, you know? For sure. But like, you need to also be able to separate yourself. Like, I think, like, for me, it wasn't really, like, it was hard in the beginning, but like, if you can't, like, you need to understand, like, everyone is not on your wave, which is a hard thing to get. Like, that's probably the hardest thing, to think like that they don't want the life that you want. But if you're able to provide that and just show that life and give them experience and the exposure principle, because you don't know what you want until you're exposed to it, right? That's the biggest thing.
And do you feel that there is some sort of like comfort or like some sort of like stability where, like, wherever you are, wherever you go, you have your brothers behind your back, even though that, you know, they're in Sweden or Canada or whatever, like, you already have them?
I don't really think of that, but yeah, probably. I mean, you look at my mom, right? She thinks, she really, I used to walk around and joke with her all the time, like, I don't have any friends, because I didn't go out, I didn't do anything for like a good 2-3 years. And she really believed that, right? Because that's what I reflect. But like, at the end of the day, I can go back to the guy. We like now Isaac is going to the military. We're probably not going to talk for like a good, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 months, right? But as we come back, it's going to take maybe 1, 2 days, and then we're back on the same road, right? We're back.
And I think that's the separation between a real brother and just a friend, right? Because like if you go and meet someone you haven't met for a long time, it's like it's not real in that sense that you need to build up the connection again. Because like if someone is your true brother, then it's like right, back to business again straight away. Yeah. And I think that you gotta have some people around yourself that you know that okay, regardless of what happens, they will look at you in a way okay, like even though you fucked up, even though that it's going shit right now, we got you back, and just keep on pushing forward. Because I have people that I know, but I know that if I don't talk to them for a year, that connection is gone. But I can speak for you for 2 years. It's whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that's the difference for me to know that okay, wherever I am, whatever I'm going through, whatever how much success I have or whatever, I know that at the end of the day, it's not by the people that you need to stay in contact with, it's the people that you not need to stay in contact with, and they still are behind you.
Yeah. I mean, I experienced that way early. Like this is why I don't look at myself as younger than 20, right? Like it sounds dumb and it may sound weird from the outside, but outside looking in is always wrong. It's like inside looking out, right? Like I was in second grade. Like as soon as I went into first grade.
Second grade, I'm 20 years old.
Nah, but like in the first grade of gymnasium, which is basically high school, when we were partying.
16, 17.
Yeah, like partying, girls, drugs, whatever, right? I was the cool kid. I was like, everybody knew me, etc., etc. And I was able to get that character because that's how people looked at me, right? People looked at me as I was handsome, all right, I know that. Now, how can I then put on other characteristics that people also look at me? And then it's easy to be confident. But then I always in that stage, I knew since maybe 6th grade in elementary, or like before you go to first, in Swedish it's different, right? Either way, I knew by that time, like, okay, I need to become something, right? Like by that time, I was like trying to, I don't know, whatever. As soon as I go into first grade, I just realized like everyone is fake. I think I haven't snapped anybody or like Snapchat or whatever you call it in like 2 years. And as soon as that when we were partying every time, we had connections, but we always made connections to get something out of it, right? That's our transactional relationship. But when you look at it as well, I didn't talk to anyone for like good 1 to 2 years. Nobody reached out. And I always knew, like, I knew this before, right? Like, it's like no coincidence. A lot of people are just friends of circumstance. A lot of people are friends because they drink together. A lot of people are friends because they
need to have friends.
They live in the same neighborhood. A lot of people are friends because they have similar interests. For example, some people like golf. They want to do golf together. But if you wouldn't, like, you're not real friends if you can't go out on a walk and have fun. But you don't need yes men. That's also a key thing. Like, you don't need yes men. And if you like, even if you have brothers right now, like, you need to look at it and like, okay, is this like what I need to do right now? Like I realized like after trying to help the guys out, getting them to the gym, whatever. Like there was a good time when we went to the gym. I started a business with like 2 of my best friends, or like one of my best friends and another guy, and it didn't work out at all, right? Because everyone has different interests, everyone doesn't want the same thing, and a lot of people talk. That's the biggest thing I realized there. Like a lot of people can talk, but not a lot of people can do.
And how thankful are you that happened? Because from my point of view, right, what happened there is that you got a filter in your mind, right, that you didn't have before. And in a sense of like, okay, you just touched on the topic of like, a lot of people talk, and regardless of how many annotate videos or whatever, like unless you go through that experience, you ain't gonna have that knowledge, right?
Yeah. I mean, you need to be able to filter out the bullshit, like as simple as that. And if you can't do that, then it's hard. It's gonna be like it's a good lesson. I think I would have been. Maybe I can't look back and say I regret it. I think regret is unprofessional, and that's a very key thing I've learned as well. Like regret is very unprofessional because you did the decision and you can't regret it because it's just unprofessional, right? And when I look back at it, it's like, yes, I'm happy it happened because now I know how it is to have a business partner, right? Now I know, okay, maybe it wasn't the best thing, but after that I propelled like crazy, right? Like if you go into that, like I could just give you some perspective, right? Context. So we were doing e-com. I started with them, and yes, it was a good launch pad. We all started together, etc. But at the end of it, I think we worked together for like 6, 7 months, maybe. I still remember we went on Black Friday. I was working at the cafe. I was looking at the dashboard, no sales, right? We had launched like a bunch of videos. We were selling like a lamp, like a glowing, like these eyes with lamp. Yeah.
You try to sell me one of those.
We were selling those, and then I came back home and I realized I hadn't put a URL link. So that was fucking pissed. But I mean, it took like I think 3 months for the guy to make a website, and it didn't even finish at the end of it, right? it was like you meet people that are very different in sense of like some people want to be perfectionists, some people want to do everything by themselves.
Yeah.
Some people think that they're the shit when they don't know to do shit. You know. Yeah, it teach me a lot, right? Like I think maybe if I look back at it now when I do the feedback loop, I think that teach me as well that it's time. Sometimes you just have to let go of people and don't try and change them, because if they can't see that they need to change, then it's not worth it, right? Like it's super hard. Imagine all the work that you need to go through, whoever's watching, to change yourself, and then you look at what it would take to change another person. It's crazy work, bro. Like it's absolute wild. Like you would never do that. Never do that. Never in my life would I try and like fucking change a person from ground start. Only in my day ones, but I would never try and like change some random ass person, right? And yeah.
I think that the thing with the perfectionism is like movement always beats perfect, because even though that you 3 months to create a website in today's day and age is ridiculous.
Yeah, back then AI wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, but still.
But AI came. The Shopify AI came, so I started doing it myself. I got it up live. I did all the thing. Imagine for all of that time, we didn't even do ads, bruv. That's what I'm saying. Like we didn't even do ads because
did you have a
we
test
was
period
waiting.
then?
What?
Did you do testing then?
No, we didn't. It was Essentia. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even fucking like. After that, after we split up, also that guy, he got a girlfriend, and I was explicitly told him, like, if you get a girlfriend, like, I know exactly what's about to happen, right? Like you can see on people that don't do the shit, and it was obviously a good learning experience, but you need to tell people, like, you need to be able to tell who the fuck is bullshit or not, right? A lot of people can say, everybody wants a Bugatti, everybody wants a Villa in Mallorca, but nobody, like, not everybody is ready to do the work to get there for 5, 7, 8 years, 10 years, whatever it may take. Like, not everybody is ready to do that. Yeah. If you could give yourself 3 tips, what would it be? To your younger self or whoever it may be.
Do shit. Just fuck around and find out. And when I'm talking about that, it's just acquiring as many skills as possible. And be specific in what skills you want to learn. So how I like to look at it is, you have skills that give you ROI, and then you have skills that make you more interesting. So just go out and become more interesting, and go out and become more valuable, and learn skills that's going to help your future self and your current self to perpetuate forward in life. And then I would say that for anyone, my younger self, when I started, what business to start, look at what ingredients you have already, right? Because we people have ingredients, we people have skills, we people have, things that other people don't have. And look at those skills. If someone is systemized, if you're a systemized person, look at what skills you have, and then from that, look at what business you want to start, and then acquire the ingredients you don't have yet, and then you become the person that can do the business what you want to do. For example, when I started, I just put something that I thought was going to make me the money fastest, and it wasn't the case of like, okay, the skills I have and the business I wanted to start didn't match. So then it's like, okay, then I needed to spend an extra, 8 months learning about, content creation, learning about all of these things in order to, even get some results. And then it's like, okay, if we look in that sentence, if I could give myself one tip, it's like, okay, look at what you have, look at where you want to go, and then you learn what you need to know in order to get there. And then the third one is probably learn from your losses. Learn from your losses. It took a long while before I started looking at what I had done and give myself this feedback loop. And if I could go back, it would be look at what you have done and look at what other people who have not succeeded have done, and then don't do what they did, and don't only copy the people who have made millions through this system or whatever. Because often for me, it's like looking at what other people are doing and trying to copy them instead of looking at the people who did not succeed and not do what they did. Because I think that the lesson and the value in the people who did not succeed is sometimes even bigger than the people who have made it.
Well, to touch upon one point. Great artists don't copy, they steal. I wouldn't really agree with what you said. I mean, yes, I would partially agree, but like everybody's super different. Everybody succeeds in super different ways. Everybody succeeds or fails in super different ways. So even looking at that point of view, you just get too many different routes to go, in my take, right? I'd say just like steal, Great artists don't copy, they steal. Same as Nero. He has one format. He's done fucking 200 videos probably, and he's still growing. Why couldn't you steal that and just put another label on it? He's talking about manifestation. Why not just steal the core thing he's doing? Same exact everything. Everything's the same. Same people behind the camera. Same layout. Same camera angle. Same place, etc. Right? Just steal that. Make your own. But also another thing. Wait, you said something about. I forgot. Yeah. Also one thing with Vietnam as well. Everybody talks about like your environment changes you. I don't think that's true now. I've realized it, right? Your environment does not change you just because you can go live in, like, yes, it can change you, like maybe you go to Dubai, it changes you, whatever, but nothing changes unless you decide to change, right? And even like just saying, I want to change, I want to reinvent myself, like this shit can happen within a day, it can really happen within a day.
Decision, innit?
Yeah, and that's the crucial part. Like I remember, that's like, if I could give one advice to myself as well, maybe that would probably be make your decisions and just stick with them, right? Like you remember when we last recorded like a pod, we were at my summer place like 1 year ago maybe. Yeah, I made a decision to quit caffeine for no reason. I made a decision to quit caffeine and then I just did, right? And I just stuck with it. And but looking back, I saw one of those videos not too long ago on your channel, right? And I was just thinking like, yeah,
the internal barrier.
One of the main things that I did back then that really helped me a lot was just like, if I did something, I wouldn't stop it, right? Like if I did something, I just like, let's say you set a standard, you just don't fall behind it.
Yeah.
And it's like, now looking back at it, it's like, yeah, also I was talking about this in earlier this day, but like feedback loop, I think I need to do a lot more, right? Because like when I look at myself, I always put like standards are like 2x what I actually can do.
Wait. I think that the standard thing is also something that is like, you gotta have high standards on yourself, right? For many reasons, and it's like for me, if I have a high standard on myself, which I do, if I go and do shit that doesn't correlate with what I want or who I am. For example, when we were swimming like 3 days ago, whatever, with Isaac and Leon, it was like, okay, it was fun, it was good, it was worth it in the beginning, but then like after that 1.5 hour, it just became this like, okay, now it's just like, now we're just dragging out time, and then we went to Coop, and it's like, okay, now it's just like the standard there just makes me utterly disgusted. The same way if I go to the gym and I don't lift as hard as I know I can, it just makes me disgusted. So it's like having 2x standard, I think that's good, right? You should have the standard of the person that you want to be, the person that you look up to, and then it's like follow that shit, because when you do shit but that standard doesn't allow, it's like a guideline for yourself. Okay, now I know I'm not going to do that. So for example, it was really easy for me to stop nicotine because my standard was so high and my guideline was there, and I would rather be in pain than feeling disgusted of doing the thing.
Yeah. That's partially why I'm always so social. Like when I was at the boat ride, right? Like I was like I don't know, you probably know this, I don't know, but like every time we went out back in the days, I had energy to the last minute, right? Because like that's just how I look at it. It's like when we were out with the guys, I had energy the whole day, right?
Even though I'm
not doing what I want to do, like I have work to do. Like it's not like I'm like stress free. No, but I'm here, and what can I do now to affect what I can do the best?
Yeah.
Well, I can be a great fucking person and contribute energy. Yeah. Now it's not I can't decide or like who's gonna follow through on that. But if I just give a lot and I just be the correct person and just change the sense of like the energy and the aura, then eventually people follow on, and it just lifts up the vibe. Like when I was on the sailing boat for 12 hours, I had energy to the last minute. None of the guys thought we were gonna make it home by time. None of the guys thought. I was on their paddle. I was fucking happy, laughing, selling jokes, whatever. And nobody thought we were gonna make it to Ica, and we did it, right? I was the only one that believed in it. And like, if you can have that like perspective, that would also help you a lot. But yeah.
What's the future?
What's the future? Hard to tell, bro. Hard to tell, but I'm not gonna speak on the future. I mean, the future you have in your mind, and you you look back at it and you be like, yeah, it happened now. Like, yeah, you can go first, and I'm gonna go and do my tips or lessons, whatever I would say.
Look back. You cannot look in the future, but you can look in the back, and you cannot really determine what's gonna happen. The only way you can determine what's gonna happen is by your actions, right? Like if I go to the gym tomorrow, in 1 year, I'm gonna have a good body, right? That's the only way you can determine the future. But it's like, I think like the way people look at it, it's like, okay, I want to have X, Y, Z, but I'm only gonna do X. But if you want to have X, Y, Z, you need to do all the steps necessary in order to get there. And it's really easy in the gym world to get the results that you want to get, because it lays in front of you. But you've got to have the same way that, okay, if I do this every day, I'm gonna get this results. So it's like, okay, what's the future? Double down on what's working, innovate, try new angles. And I'm launching the further reset app. That's also in the future. I'm not gonna touch on that now. But yeah, what's your free tips?
Free tips, I think I'm more.
Bro, speak
Give away
this guy's problem is that he cannot shut the fuck up, right? If he doesn't have a notebook, Notion, this is what I'm gonna speak about. 12-hour lesson, 12-hour mastermind for free cunts. Alright, go on. 3.
That's true.
3.
That's that. But I've learned to not do that in the calls as well. You know, I'm starting to be more direct. But yeah, some topics is like it's passion, so you can speak upon it a lot, and that's just why it is.
3 tips.
Either way, number one, speed. Speed is king. Like just double down on speed. Not even gonna go too deep into that. Everybody knows it. Number 2, do feedback loops a lot more often. Right, like a lot more often than you think. Number 3, make your decisions and stick to them. Yeah, make your decisions and stick to them. And then you will never have it like all planned out. You may think you have it all planned out, but you never have it all planned out. Like the timeline is not on your decision. And just constantly just improve yourself, obviously. Like there's a lot of basic stuff, obviously, but like just don't obsess over the timeline, to be honest, because like eventually it would all make sense. You would only be able to connect the dots looking back, and you know God has a bigger plan for you. Like me personally, when I pray or whatever I do, I pray to become the best version of myself. And an equivalent equation to make that happen is that I need to go through fucking terrible like hardship, right? It's the equivalent. You can't get what you want unless you go through what you need to do to become that, whatever. But just focus on yourself, man. Like that's also a key thing. Like even my mom says it to this day. Like you're so focused X, Y, and Z, and you know just focus on what it is and be ready to sacrifice the good for the great. You know, be ready to sacrifice the good for the great. It's not gonna be an easiest thing. A lot of the times, like you look at things like social media just fucked up a lot of the stuff or a lot of views on a lot of things. Like everything should go super fast, and yes. Some people happen super fast, you know. A lot of the stuff is just market time or like timing, execution, and yeah, a lot of the stuff is timing and luck, you know. And if you go in every day and do your best, one day eventually you have your lucky day, you know. But you only miss it if you don't go in.
I don't know if I believe in luck though. 'Cause I don't like the concept of luck. Because if the concept of luck exists, then that means that I have no control of the future. And I think that.
But luck works within your favor.
But it's it's like okay, if I get a loss, if I got a win, is that luck or is it my actions that led it to that thing? And I think that the timing and everything, of course, it's like okay, if I put up an ad now and it didn't work, what if I put up the ad there, or what if I put up the YouTube video later, or it's just like it's a big topic, but I don't know if
Why don't you believe in it?
Because
because you don't feel like you have control, or what?
If I believe in luck, then that means that I don't have control of what's going to happen.
Does not mean that.
And I think if everything comes from the mind, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, if you believe in luck, then that means that one lucky day, everything's going to come. But if you believe in a way that it's going to come, then it's not luck, then it's knowing. And I think luck and believing is somewhat interconnected. If I know something's going to happen, when I get it, it's not luck. Then it's just me doing the work, and I got what I wanted, and I got what I deserved. And I think that if you have a high standard, if you work on yourself, improve yourself every day, as you've touched, then if you get what you want, then it's not one lucky day, then it's just you, and you did God's work or God's plan. And yeah.
I don't really agree with that. I think, well, there's luck in every equation, right? Like there's luck involved, whether you like it or not, and it works in your favor. But I do agree, like believing and knowing is two different things. If you know something's gonna happen, don't obsess over all the small things, you know. Like if you know you're gonna be successful, like I knew when I was fucking 12 years old, whatever it may be. Like don't obsess over it, you know. Like yes, you know it's gonna happen, and whatever you do, whatever journey you take, you're going to go there. So yeah. But luck is involved. Luck is involved. There's an undeniable thing. We are lucky that we didn't maybe have luck, but we had luck previously where the sun was up. You know, did we control the sun? No. Did you control when you met me? Like, if you look back on a lot of stuff, like, was it lucky that you and me went to Thailand? I don't know. Was it luck? Was it not? A lot of stuff happens to luck, but it's not bad. It happens within you, you know. But like, luck is not like you don't control it. I wouldn't say. It's like it just happens. It happens for you after doing the work. Like God rewards you. He puts the right pieces in place, and if you just play the chess game correctly, eventually you'll get there. You know.
Oh, you shouldn't have said chess game, cunt. Chess game. What do you believe in this equation? How important is it to focus on the chess moves one step and 2 steps ahead, and the chess moves that comes later throughout the game? Because you need to think about the whole game and what's going to happen and what moves to kill the queen and the king. But what do you believe is most important? The chess moves later throughout the game, or the chess moves that are straight in front of you?
Well, on like in front of you, bro. Like, one, you always, 50 Cent said this in the Snow movie, Power movie. Always there was a scene where he played chess with his little kid, or whatever, and he said the guy was 2 steps ahead of him, and he said always be 4 steps ahead of your enemy, right? So I believe in that. I believe in 4 steps ahead, but that does not mean that you're not present in the moment. Like, you need to know your next step to be able to go 4 steps ahead. Look at the order.
Simon's this cunt.
Swear, hey, nah, bro.
Simon's this cunt.
On my life.
Bro, this is a kid, cunt. This is a kid, bro. This is what happens when you go to Vietnam. This is what happens when you get to Vietnam, bro. This guy has just been around too many Asian bitches, bro. That's the reason why he got herpes, isn't it? I need to cut that out of the camera. Bro, this guy, man.
I have one last thing to leave. Don't be a fucking dickhead. Don't be a cunt. Like, I see a lot of successful people. They look like shit. They have no charisma about them. They're nothing like to look into. Like, they're no inspirational character at all. They have no body. XYZ. Don't be that guy. That's like my worst fear, right? Like, I wouldn't trade my body for $10 million. $100 million, maybe, but it would still be like considerable, right? Because at the end of the day, like, the work you did to get there is like a lot. Like, if you'd lose that, fuck that, bro. But don't be a dickhead. Just because, like, a lot of people have money, but they're nothing, bro. Like, if you're not the best in your physical shape, you look your best, you're speaking your best, you're being your best person, you have your best lessons, you're doing your experiences, whatever it may be. Who are you really to be? Like, what father do you want to be? A lot of people, they're just like fucking random cunts, bro. You look at the guy. Like, yes, they're great in the business world, but overall, obviously, this is also what comes with entrepreneurship. Like, you can't really balance everything, and a lot of people, they just cut out a lot of stuff, and it works, right? I'm not saying, like, obviously you need to sacrifice a lot of stuff, but just constantly outperform your competitors. Like, well, why am I running when I was in Vietnam, smoking like 1 pack a day? Well, because I need to outperform everybody, bro. Like, you need to outperform in every metric, and yeah, really fucking key. Whatever successful level you're at, or if you're not, even more fucking motivation to be your best self, right? Either way, you have anything left you want to leave?
Is success determined by how much money you make or how you are as a person? Because is your mom a successful person? Is your father a successful person? Is your friend a successful person? Just because they didn't make any money?
It depends on what you look at success, right? Like, you in the world we live in now, you can only, like, the easiest way to the metric success is money, easiest way. But I'd say what I look at as success is, do I want to be this person? If I don't, that's not a successful person, in my opinion. Like, is there something about this person that I would like to have, regardless of, like, nobody would want to be in Elon Musk's shoes, right? But, like, is there something about him that I would want to have? Obviously, then I would classify as success. But everyone is different. Like, that's why I'm saying, that's why it's like, it's not only money, but in the world that we live in today, a lot of it is determined by money. But if you look at, for example, you look at a great dad. Well, wouldn't you want to be a great dad? Well, good. He's successful in that metric of his life, you know? And you look at a successful man, in my opinion, is successful in all realms of the life. All realms. Which is hard. There's no balance in this. It's hard to balance this. It's hard to be a man. It's not meant to be easy, right? Like, 5 years ago, we were, like, looking back, like, this is the best generation to live in as a man. Previously, you were to be buried in a ditch or in a cold war somewhere, whatever. Yeah, what do you want to have to leave?
I think we did it again. It was a good talk. Can you improve it? 100%. You want to say more? 100%.
So who's the yapper now?
Who's the yapper now? I think that if we transcribe this version,
yeah, well, you asking all the questions.
if we transcribe this video, I think that we got the answer, and well, I think that is good.